All right, guys. It happened. Jordan Clarkson breaks the triple-double drought for the Utah Jazz. This was the tweet of the night from Jen Ellis on Twitter. If you're following, shout out to her. Fantastic mood tonight for Jazz fans as the triple-double streak breaks. The Jazz dominate Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. The Jazz are legit good. It's a mood right now for Jazz fans. Let's enjoy it. Go Jazz. Let's talk about it. It's the Hoops Nerd post-game show. All right, guys, what an absolutely awesome night for the Utah Jazz. A big-time win over the Dallas Mavericks, and honestly, just one of the more fun Jazz nights in a long time. Jordan Clarkson breaking the streak was phenomenal. In fact, let's just talk about it. First time since 2008. Since 2008, Carlos Boozer. It's like 2 presidents ago. The Jazz... Maybe 3. I think it was, I don't know. But anyways, it's the first time in a long time. In fact, Andy Larson had a great tweet. I think every single other team had at least 10 triple-doubles in that time before the Utah Jazz get their triple-double from Jordan Clarkson. Fantastic, incredible, amazing, absolutely amazing. So much fun. All right, and look, guess what? It's a great night because the chat is working. It's freaking working. Anyways, last time, let's just get into this. This was a great win for the Utah Jazz. Sad Luka Doncic was sad tonight. 6 for 20, 30% from the field, 23% from 3. Just pretty sad and bad. Luka Doncic, you're out. You're out. In fact, let me just tweet this really quick while we go live because this is a party. Let's talk about it, baby. All right, sorry, I'm going to just talk about it. But anyways, while I write this was this was a kind of a historic win for the Jazz in a few ways. Because if you don't remember, the Jazz... All right, sorry, I just got to write this really fast. Sorry. All right, this is live. Sorry. Anyways, this was also, if you don't remember, the Jazz, the last time they played the Dallas Mavericks, they got beat by 50. And Luka Doncic was laughing and joking and dancing on our grave. And we thought the Jazz season was going into the absolute pot. And it was at the time. Well, guess what? Things change. Things change. Right? Sorry, Luka. You can sit on that floor. Sorry, Grant Williams. Boston didn't want you. They didn't want you. And guess what? Boston's better without you. You can be overpaid in Dallas. Key himself, $2. I flew in from Tulsa for the game. New Year's Eve and SLC equals fun. Welcome to Utah, Key. Welcome to the best state in the world, in the United States. Welcome to Utah, Key. And thank you so much for the donation. What an absolutely dominant performance from the Utah Jazz. They hold Luka Doncic to 30% from the field, Kyrie Irving to 42%. Just a dominating performance from the Utah Jazz. All right, lost in the shuffle. Let's just go through it. But first, we just got to give just credit. In fact, we've talked about it a little bit. Jordan Clarkson breaks the triple-double streak. Longest in the NBA. One of the biggest droughts of any kind in the NBA. Jordan Clarkson gets it. The Jazz were up by like 30 or 40, whatever it was. So you got to give credit to Will Hardy because he understands the importance of this to the players and to the fans. Quinn Snyder wouldn't have done it because guess what? We've been close before and Quinn Snyder 100% doesn't let this happen to prove some stupid point. Just like Quinn Snyder not letting Rudy Gobert do the salute, just like Quinn Snyder ruining all fun, and just like Quinn Snyder not making a substitution in a playoff game, Will Hardy's different. Will Hardy knows what it meant, and he kept him in there. With the Jazz up 35 or whatever it was, I think they ended the game winning by 37. Will Hardy keeps him in to get the triple-double, tells him on the sideline, Call timeout as soon as he gets it. Jordan Clarkson gets it. Luka Doncic backs away so Jordan Clarkson can get it. For a minute there, it was looking like it might not happen, and it does. With Jordan Clarkson, absolutely phenomenal. Incredible. You got to give credit to Will Hardy to let it happen. If you want culture, that's culture right there. And it reminds me of something that Will Hardy said earlier this year when things changed for this team. Remember when this Jazz team, and it was right around when they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, ironically, by around 50 points. Will Hardy at that time says there's three things. You have to pass the basketball. And it's something the Jazz have started doing. You have to play hard. If you do not play hard, you're not going to play. And you have to give a bleep about the Utah Jazz if you play for the Utah Jazz. Well, we saw all three of those things tonight, and we've seen all three of those things of recency. Look at this. Utah Jazz with this win go to number 10 now. If they get up here, they now convey the pick. Remember, we are playing to convey. All the way to convey, baby. Utah Jazz get to 10. They are at 15-19. They are now tied with Chicago. And guess what? Brooklyn and Golden State have both lost 3 in a row. Utah has a chance to jump to 12. And guess what? We're not that far behind you, LA Lakers and Houston Rockets. Not that far behind. Utah is now 8 of their last 11, and they are rising. In fact, let's go to the NBA standings here, and let's just see. Let's just see where the streaks are at. So, Utah, they now sit at 12. There is a legit shot. This season is far from over. Far from over. Utah is 7 of their last 3. They've won 2 in a row. Look at this. Los Angeles has lost 2 in a row. Golden State 3. And Draymond's in counseling. Draymond is in counseling, and Golden State might be better without him. What are they going to do, Steve Kerr? You can't ruin Walker Kessler anymore. All you got now is to ruin your own players. You can't develop any of them, and you don't know how to do a winning game plan. You don't know how winning works. Sorry, Steph Curry ain't saving you now. He's not enough now when you've got a lot of other bad things going on. 3 in a row for Golden State. What a pathetic showing by Steve Kerr. Pathetic basketball coach. Can't even win with the most talent in USA basketball. Now he's not winning in the NBA with the best shooter in NBA history. It's just a sad state of events for Steve Kerr. Pathetic NBA coach. Pathetic. Truly a pathetic excuse for an NBA coach. Can't figure out how to get a system around the best shooter in the history of the basketball of this planet, of any galaxy, of the Milky Way galaxy, and all galaxies and dimensions out there. Steve Kerr is the worst of them all. The worst of them all. Pathetic. Pathetic, Steve Kerr. Pathetic. All right. Have we mentioned how important that triple-double was and how big time it is for this Utah Jazz team? Let's talk about something that might get lost in the shuffle. Simone Fontecchio was absolutely lights out. The three-point shot wasn't falling in the second half, but Simone scores like 12 points in the first 3 minutes. Absolutely devastating. Devastating Luka Doncic. 37-point launch, Luka Doncic and Grant Williams. Chew on that pill. 10 for 16 from the field for the game. Simone Fontecchio is absolutely a phenomenal story for this Utah Jazz team. Whether he's starting or coming off the bench, it doesn't matter. He's going to come in and he's going to play one great defense first. That's what he did tonight. 2 block shot. Let's see. Block shot, steal, 2 assists, and a plus 27 for this game of all the starters. Look at that. Look at all these other starters, but look at what Simone Fontecchio does. Does that not tell you the impact that he had on this game? Fantastic. I don't know, people are asking me why who doesn't start and why who doesn't. Well, I can tell you right now, Simone Fontecchio, when he plays this game, he is playing great defense and he's shooting the ball, playing great offense. He is turning into such a steal for this Utah Jazz team. Phenomenal. And I believe his contract ends after this year. Guess what? He's going to get paid in Utah dollars and fry sauce is what he's going to get paid. You can count on it. Lauri Markkanen, I noticed he was wearing tape on the right shoulder this game. I don't know if he's, feeling some wear and tear. He could use an all-star break. I don't know if Lauri Markkanen is going to make the all-star team. I wouldn't bet on it. You can go vote right now on Twitter. Go do it. Triple counts or whatever. Triple the points. there were a lot of triple points from Larry Markkinen in this game. He was 4 for 8 from 3. He was being left open by, the Dallas Mavericks didn't figure that guarding Larry Markkinen from 3 was a good idea. He was 4 for 8 from 3. Solid performance from him. You can tell he's not quite 100%. He goes 1 for 8 from 3 last game. Hit a big-time 3 to help win the game, but tonight goes 4 for 8, so that's good to see. 6 for 12 from the field, 17 points. It's something to monitor. He doesn't look quite himself, although the shooting was there tonight, so you can't argue with it. John Collins couldn't hit a 3 tonight. He's been starting. People are asking, why does he start? I don't know. I mean, we talked about it last game. He's starting because I think that Will Hardy doesn't like to have 2 non-3-point shooters on the floor at the same time because Chris Dunn's playing. Although Chris Dunn hits that 3 tonight, that was nice to see. But typically, Chris Dunn is not considered an elite 3-point shooter. He's just not. And so I don't think Will Hardy likes to have Chris Dunn playing at the same time with Walker Kessler and have like an offense that feels gummed up. I mean, I tell you what, go coach a comp basketball team at some point. Go be a coach and see what it feels like watching a team with no flow play. But you know what? The way Walker Kessler played tonight, it might not be very long until he is starting. Walker Kessler with the double-double. Looks freaking awesome, but we will talk about him. Anyways, that's the reason I think, but look at this. 7 for 13 from the field, and that was missing 5 threes for John Collins. If you notice, he made multiple drives to the basket that were really nice. This Dallas Mavericks defense is really bad. In fact, let's do our refresh of the rankings here. Utah jumped. Oh, look at that. We've up to 22. This was not too long ago. They were 22 for Utah. The defensive rating is getting better. This is fun to see. So Utah's 22. They pass up Dallas. So they not only blew the doors off Dallas, they also jumped them in defensive rankings. Also a reminder that Dallas is not very good at defense. But anyways, John Collins takes advantage. He's driving line drives to the basket and scoring. Really great. Really great to see. So John Collins, the 3 wasn't falling. They would have won by 40 or 45 if the 3 was tonight, but instead they only won by 37. A shame. Anyways, 7 for 13 from the field. He was 7 for 8 from 2. Just crushed it inside. So, you know what? We can ask who's starting and who's not starting. Well, guess what? It's working. The Jazz have won 8 of their last 11. They are 7-3 in their last 10. I mean, I don't know. If it ain't broke, as they say. And you know what? Walker Kessler's just obliterating benches. He's just absolutely destroying them. And it does remind me, too, like one of these signature things from Will Hardy. By the way, Dirty Jazz Car Wash Channel, $4.99. Nice comeback win from the 50-point loss versus them from last match versus them. Yes. And thank you for the donation, Dirty Jazz, baby. Thank you so much. Absolutely true. But like I was going to say, I just lost my train of thought. There is a signature thing that Will Hardy is doing. One is winning basketball games, by the way, bringing up the culture, understanding the moment, and creating offenses and defenses that the team can both enhance their individual strengths while also doing things to throw off other teams. Will Hardy switches off through multiple defenses throughout the game. He allows players to play within their strengths on offense. He is a coach that understands how to play off of strengths of his players, and he is doing things to throw other teams off. He is an absolutely awesome head coach. Anyone who says otherwise is just completely wrong. The Jazz absolutely upgraded to Will Hardy when they got rid of Quinn Snyder. Absolutely phenomenal move. Of all the moves the Jazz have done, that's one of the biggest ones. Just a phenomenal hire. But anyways, what happens, and one of these signature things with Will Hardy, is it's not necessarily who starts, it's who closes. Hardy only plays John Collins 17 minutes, but they were a good 17 minutes. 15 points, 5 rebounds. Pretty solid. But then he plays Walker Kessler 26. And one thing that we're seeing with Will Hardy is he likes to start that offense apparently with some sort of flow that he knows is going to go well. I think he definitely prefers a spread 5-out offense if he can. And then what he does is he rides the matchups that are working. So during the game, he just sees what's going on. The Jazz are now, and I think this, I don't know 100%, but I've saw this graphic from multiple places. The Jazz are now 12-0 when they are up at halftime. 12-0. And you got to give credit to Will Hardy in that. If they are up, they will beat you. Will Hardy, it's not about who starts, it's about who closes. And I know we've heard that before, but it's legit with this team because what he does is he sees what matchups are going on, who's playing well, what duos are doing well, who's doing well, and then he rides it. 26 minutes for Walker Kessler. Kessler was utterly dominant tonight, and he rode him 26 minutes, 4 blocks, 10 rebounds, 11 points. I know all of us have our certain, this is what I want. This is what I want the Jazz to do. This is what I think they should do. The Jazz have a plan for every single player. This is something to remember. The Jazz are thinking about every single guy on this team. They're not just thinking about Walker Kessler and who should start. They definitely are thinking about Kessler and what their long-term plan for him is, but they have a plan for every single player. Just like they have a plan for Walker Kessler, they have one for John Collins. And that plan may be to trade him, possibly. But that plan may also be like, we like him starting, and then we like to bring in Walker Kessler to absolutely destroy benches, which kind of makes sense. If you consider what this Jazz team is, this Jazz team beats you with depth. The Jazz do not have a Luka Doncic. They do not have a Nikola Jokic or a Joel Embiid. They don't have an MVP candidate, right? They have a potential all-star. Like, this Jazz team is winning these games, and I don't think Lauri Markkanen's going to make the all-star team this year. The West is absolutely stacked. Kevin Durant comes over. It's just going to be hard for Lauri Markkanen to make the all-star team this year. I don't know what's going to happen, and that's what's crazy, too, about this team, is they are winning. It's crazy, and you got to give that to coaching, but it goes back to the fact that the Utah Jazz beat you with depth. And Will Hardy plays that way. Look at how many players played. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rotation players. And then you even have 11 and 12, Samanic and Yurtsevin coming in. By the way, Taylor Horton-Tucker ain't playing anymore, and that's also part of the winning. But 10-man rotation, that's not that common. Anyways, what it means is it doesn't always matter who starts. It does matter who closes. And when you're playing 10 guys and you know who's winning, you're going to ride with them. And look, you can just see in the minutes. This plus minus from Kessler, Clarkson, Keontae, Kelly Olynyk, Ochai Agbaji, Simone Fontecchio, those were the guys. And guess what? Those were the guys that got the most minutes. 29 for Fontecchio, 26 for Kessler, 27 Clarkson. Clarkson gets the triple-double with 27 minutes, and Will Hardy wanted to rest him earlier, but he couldn't. He is a man of the people. Will Hardy, man of the people. Will Hardy. I don't want to hear any more slander of Will Hardy ever again, all right? We have been diffusing that every single night on the show. It makes no sense to me. Every single time anyone said anything, I was like, what are you talking about? This is bizarre behavior. But Will Hardy, man of the people, great NBA head coach, possibly top 5. Really, not like when it was fake fool's gold with Quinn Snyder. Not that fake stuff. This actual stuff with Will Hardy. By the way, Minnesota's doing so well, and although they're down to the Knicks. But it makes me wonder if Rudy might have been held back a tiny bit here in Utah. To be honest with what they're doing in Minnesota. It's crazy. Dirty Jazz Car Wash Channel 199. Put member link in chat, please. I will probably later, but if you go to the Jazz channel, if you want to join the channel, just go to join. There's a button that says join or memberships or something. Go search around, Dirty Jazz. I bet you can find it. If not, send me a message, or I'll link it in the comments later. Anyways, let's see. Is that enough on John Collins? I think so. Chris Dunn getting the start, playing really well. Look at this, 7 assists for Chris Dunn. He's playing really great. There are some people that said Chris Dunn should have been starting. Well, guess what? Early in the season, Chris Dunn was playing terrible. There were some players that were playing really bad for this Jazz team. One of them was Chris Dunn. He was not good the first 10 to 15 games. He just flat out was unplayable. He is now playing at a very high level. The Jazz got him for nothing. He's making $2 million this year. The Jazz have players making like $2 million a season. It's crazy. This is a fun team. This is the type of team you have fun rooting for. And I bet Danny Ainge is laughing about all this because they're absolutely killing it. Will Hardy gets the best out of every single guy. It's crazy. But anyways, he was playing terrible to start the year. Walker Kessler missed multiple games and was playing terrible to start the year. Jordan Clarkson was having the worst season of his career. He is now just turning things around in a big time way. You can bet tonight's news is going to make the headlines and certain GMs are going to watch it. They might be making trades for this guy. It's pretty crazy. And then Colin Sexton was just awful. I could not watch Colin Sexton the first 15 games of the season. It was so hard to watch. It was not fun. And he has absolutely changed it. Every single player on this Jazz team is playing better, playing harder, passing the ball, giving a bleep about the Jazz, and playing hard, playing defense. You can just see it in the advanced stats. In fact, let's go for the, it's a live show. We're going to do this. I think this is worth doing. So what we're going to do, when was the last, let's see. Sorry, guys, we're going to do this live. What I want to see is where the Jazz are ranked since they've been turning things around. So let's go to Utah. Let's go to schedule here. I'm just curious after tonight because it looks like they may have updated it. But let's go back to Wednesday, December 13th. That's when things really turned around. In fact, I should have remembered that. Wednesday, December 13th. Back all the way in 2023. Haha. And then today. And let's see where the Jazz rank now in that time span because things are changing. If you'll remember, Utah was a top 10 offense. Look at that. 15th in offense compared to before. It's still on the average level. But the Jazz are the number 8 defense. In the NBA, they have jumped to a top 10 defense in that time frame. That is amazing. That's amazing. Guys, they're playing a top 10 defense. That's what they're winning games with is the defense. The offense isn't even quite there yet. Rookie point guard playing big-time minutes. Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton. They don't have THT playing anymore, which I tell you what, that's helping things out a lot. But this is crazy. The Jazz in their last, since December 13th, which I think is their last 11 games, number 15 in the offense, and defensive rating number 8. Look at that, right behind the Boston Celtics. Look at who's up here. Chicago's playing well, by the way. It's not going to be easy to pass them up. Look at that. That's actually better than I thought. That's crazy. Will Hardy is absolutely changing this Jazz team. All right, Christian House money to Haas, $3.10. My man, my donation is a triple-double, baby. The Christian House money, my man. Thank you so much. Go Jazz, baby. Go Jazz. Okay, all right, and let's talk about Colin Sexton a little bit. He had kind of an off night tonight. He wasn't quite there, and guess what? Will Hardy didn't play him, right? It goes back to the same thing. He didn't quite have it, so Will Hardy went with someone else. That's the culture of this Jazz team. If you don't got it, he goes with someone else, and guess what? Everyone's okay with it. They understand. If I'm playing well, I'm going to play. 18 minutes for Colin Sexton, but he has been having an absolutely monstrous month. But let's see. What was it? Oh, and JC to triple-double. KG to JC to triple-double all the way. Let's just say, this is something that I think, and it kind of goes, development is better than rotation, Quinn Hu. Absolutely. So, all the people that were complaining about Will Hardy, what's he doing? Why is he doing this? Well, guess what? We are now seeing the fruits of what Will Hardy instituted with his Jazz team. Will Hardy obviously saw the flaws of this team. The Jazz don't even have an all-star. Yes, well, they do in Larry Markkinen, but I don't know if he's going to make the all-star team this year, to be honest. Markkinen's stats, I don't think they're quite as good as last year. Still high-level efficiency, 23-8, but with a loaded Western Conference. Is that for this season? Let's see. 23-8. Let's see. No, 37% from 3, so the efficiency is just a tiny bit down. 8.5 rebounds. Having a solid year. It's not better than last year, though. It's just about the same. With a stacked Western Conference, you got guys like Anthony Edwards that are going to call for minutes. The Oklahoma City Thunder are looking incredible. It's going to be harder for him to make an all-star team than it was last year. I don't think he's going to make it, and that just goes to show how incredible Will Hardy has been to get this Jazz team to win games. And part of what he was doing at the beginning of the year, where he's doing the zone, he's doing a box end one, and he's doing man-to-man. It was a little bit of a struggle for this Jazz team at the beginning of the year, but guess what? It is paying off now. They are now understanding how to do those things. And the irregular lineups, which is completely different than what we saw with Quinn Snyder, where it was just literally a rotation with Quinn Snyder, where it was like, at this minute, this player comes in, and And that was how Quinn Snyder helped players understand the rotations, because he literally never changed anything. So you just do the same thing every single night. Well, with Will Hardy, what he's doing is he's playing multiple lineups and getting these guys to play the same way regardless of who else is on the floor. And now you're seeing the benefits of it. You are seeing the fruits of that labor. Now it doesn't matter who's on the floor. If it's a lineup of Walker Kessler, Jordan Clarkson, Keontae, Ochai, and Fontecchio, it doesn't matter. They know what to do when they're on the defensive end, and they know what to do offensively. They pass the ball, they play hard, and guess what? They're now winning basketball games. It's phenomenal. A lot of credit goes to the players, but a lot of credit needs to go to Will Hardy for what he is doing. And for those of us who were supporting it and saying, look, just wait, it's certainly pretty gratifying. It's certainly pretty great to see what's happening. Phenomenal. Anyways, this right here is actually a pretty cool thing. 18 minutes. The shot just wasn't there for Sexton, and that's okay. Will Hardy goes with someone else. All right, we've talked about Walker Kessler a little bit. These 26 minutes for him, and he only plays 26 minutes. In fact, 29 minutes was the most minutes played by any Jazz player. This depth is crazy. They're playing fresh, and it's allowing them to play hard every single night. You know, this Dallas Mavericks team, they sat Luka Doncic played with a hurt calf because they have to have him play. And he played 33 minutes tonight, and they were destroyed. He was going to play upwards of 40. This Utah Jazz team beats you with depth, with hard play. I don't know how else to describe it. 29 minutes for Fontecchio because he played phenomenal. But Jordan Clarkson gets the triple-double with 27 minutes. That's crazy. They're allowed to play hard. When they're on the floor, they play hard, and Will Hardy switches them out. It is kind of the calling card of this team. It'll be interesting because the Jazz are eventually going to get a dominant player. That is the goal of this team. And it may be to go get Luka Doncic. Who knows? But anyways, it's just impressive that this Jazz bench does so well. And so when Walker Kessler comes out, 26 minutes, he's allowed to play at an elite level. And that's one other thing. If you don't play hard, you're not going to play, you know? THT is out of the lineup because he's not passing the ball and not playing good enough. And that's why he's out of the lineup. And the Jazz are winning because of it. That's a big thing. You know, there is pressure from guys like Rich Paul, the number one agent. I was actually looking at agents the other day. You know, I don't know what you guys do on the internet, but I sit there and memorize agent names. But anyways, Rich Paul is his agent with Clutch Sports. Also the agent of, I believe it's Jordan Clarkson and let's see, and Colin Sexton. Rich Paul and Clutch, they oversee them. But anyways, there's pressure from those guys. They want them to play because guess what? Clutch loses money if Taylor Horton Tucker doesn't play. And part of that if Clutch gets a big time draftee in the draft and they don't want him to work out with you because they're pissed off because you didn't play Taylor Horton Tucker, there are consequences to these actions. And so this Jazz team is saying, you know what we care about is winning the games, and we're not going to be bullied by agencies. And it's freaking cool. It's awesome. Suck on that, Rich Paul. Go talk to Adele because we ain't playing Taylor Horton Tucker, all right? Let Adele sing you a lullaby to sleep, all right? Cry about it to Adele on Adele's shoulder. What's her? I don't know any song lyrics. Otherwise, I'd have made a joke. Anyways, Adele can just serenade your crying little baby. Anyways, there is a lot of reasons for the Jazz to not do what they're doing, and they're doing it to win games. They are going to win games because Rich Paul is going to tell them to play Taylor Horton Tucker. Well, guess what? We're playing our good players, Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson, and it was freaking awesome. We'll see what happens. And then in the future, if Clutch Sports says we're not going to let you work out with this player because they're our client, we don't like how you didn't play Taylor Tucker, well, screw you. We'll do what we want, and we'll draft him anyway. All right? Suck on that. Danny Ainge is not afraid of agents. He got punched in the face like 20 times when he's a player. Do you think he cares what Rich Paul says? Do you think he cares? I know he doesn't care. When he's getting punched in the face by like Michael Jordan or whoever, he's not afraid of you, Rich Paul. Go cry to Adele. There was another cool thing that happened. Obviously, we've talked about Jordan Clarkson. Does it in 27 minutes. That's pretty amazing. And it's funny how it seemed like such a stressful thing for Will Hardy to sit him. But even if he sat him when he wanted to, he would have played like 24 minutes. So anyways, but I know, and this is the other thing that's pretty cool, is Jordan Clarkson comes off the bench and does it. It's not all that often that happens. A triple-double off the bench, that's probably pretty rare. I don't know the stats, though. If anyone knows the stats, put them in the comments. But anyways, does it in 27 minutes. Will Hardy rides Jordan Clarkson to the win. It's freaking awesome. But what was cool, and we got 28 minutes from Keontae George tonight. A quiet 14 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds, by the way, from our guy Keontae George. But what was cool is during the game, Keontae was absolutely just giving the ball to JC. This whole Jazz team knew about it. They all knew about it. All of them. And Keontae George, when he was on the floor, because he's been the backcourt partner with Jordan Clarkson for this 11-game stretch, Keontae's been playing next to Jordan Clarkson. He was just giving him the ball because he knew he needed that assist. When he finally got that assist, it was amazing. Then they just started playing on offense. It was really fun to watch. And it just shows that this Jazz team, and it's nice to see Keontae George has that type of attitude that he wants to get it. Keontae wants to win the game, but he also understands these things. I mean, I put the picture of Jordan Clarkson with Keontae on the thumbnail because I just thought that picture encapsulates so much, Keontae George, Jordan Clarkson, and just this Jazz team. They're having fun. They're happy. They're winning games. It's great culture. Everyone who was worried about culture, well, guess what? The culture is good. The culture is good. But he was just absolutely deferring to JC to get him the win. One last thing, and this is like just a small thing, but Ochai Agbaji is in a small shooting slump lately. 0 for 5 from 3, 1 for 6 from the field. Hopefully he gets out of that. But this shooting slump is, I hope he gets out of it because I think he still can be an elite shooter. I honestly think there's a year where Ochai just has a monster shooting year. But just a mini shooting slump for him. He was a +10 and he had some nice defensive plays. But just a mini shooting slump, something to watch. It's just not quite there yet. Although it was 5 threes, he hit his 1 too. But the other guy, Kelly Olynyk, had just a big time night. Look at this: 7 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Honestly, of all the players I would have guessed that would have broken the triple-double streak, it was probably Kelly Olynyk, just for the rebounding fact. You know that Kelly Olynyk passes the ball. You know he can shoot it. But the thing that's nice is the rebounding. That's the thing. The Jazz have not had a dominant player playing that kind of that wing spot where you can get rebounds. They don't have a dominant rebounder that also scores for them and passes the ball like a Luka Doncic. They just have it. There's a reason why they don't have a triple-double. They haven't had that type of player. It's always been guard heavy. John Stockton, Darren Williams, Jordan Clarkson's the one who does it. He's just not a big rebounder. So it just rarely ever happened because you just couldn't get the rebounds. It happens tonight. But anyways, that's why I thought Kelly Olynyk might have, because he's kind of that type of guy that can move the ball. But it wasn't Kelly Olynyk. It was Jordan Clarkson, baby. Jordan Clarkson gets it done. In fact, all the people here tonight, shout out to everyone here. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? Have you subscribed yet? We're like, it's like 10,000 subscribers right around the corner. Be the one who gets us to 10K tonight, right now. Is it happening right now? Did it happen right now? Let's check it. Is it celebration time? Oh my gosh, let's see. If not, subscribe. Subscribe. Let's see. Oh, we're 17 away. Come on, there's got to be 17 of you there to subscribe to the channel. Come on, do it right now. But anyways, we got to just give a shout out to Jordan Clarkson because I don't know if he's going to be on the Jazz after trade deadline. We know from reports that Jordan Clarkson is on the trade block, that he could go anywhere. Bill Simmons mentioned trade block to possibly the Knicks. Maybe. If that happens, it's going to be sad because Jordan Clarkson is one of my favorite players that's been on the Jazz. He is so much fun. There are things about Jordan Clarkson that will drive you crazy. The turnovers are not great. Tonight he had 4 turnovers. And they were like in succession. I even tweeted about it at one point in the first quarter, like, you got to sit him. Obviously, I'm glad I was wrong. But there are times where he'll drive you crazy. And then there are times where he is absolutely incredible. He hits the big-time winning shot earlier this season. He gets the triple-double break for this Jazz team. He wins Sixth Man of the Year on those Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell teams where it was just fun to watch him play. He is an absolute joy to watch. And we are lucky to have Jordan Clarkson on this team. If he gets traded, then it'll obviously be for something that's better for the Jazz long term. But in terms of today and what we enjoyed tonight with Jordan Clarkson, we will always have this memory with Jordan Clarkson hitting the triple-double. Fantastic. Just phenomenal. And shout out to all the Filipino fans out there who love him. I know you do. You guys are amazing fans. It was fun watching Jordan Clarkson with Team Philippines. He's an amazing guy. And you know what? If he is traded, it's going to be a bummer. It's going to be an absolute bummer because he's just fun to have on your team, you know? And in some ways, I'm like, you know what? Do we have to trade him? Not necessarily. If the Jazz are trying to get that pick to convey, Jordan Clarkson is playing at an elite level right now, at least the last 2 or 3 games. It would be really nice to see him be there for that because he would have been a big part of that. Really fun to see Jordan Clarkson do that. Everyone, let me know in the comments, what's your favorite Jordan Clarkson memory? Was it tonight? Was it the Sixth Man of the Year? Was it him getting surprised by Joe Ingles and getting that Sixth Man of the Year live on TV? What's your favorite Jordan Clarkson moment? Was it the game winner this year, earlier in the season? What was it? What's your favorite Jordan Clarkson moment? Mine might have been tonight because this was a lot of fun. He breaks the streak for the Jazz. The dunk on the Lakers, says Diego. Lots and lots of fun memories of Jordan Clarkson. I hope you guys all write in the comments something that you guys loved about Jordan Clarkson because I certainly love Jordan Clarkson. All right, guys, let's do it. We are still at 10th. Once we are not conveying, we're not going to do this anymore. Let's see here. So let's refresh. And let's see. So the Jazz sit at, and let's see. Let's pull this up. We got to pull up the music, baby. All right. So the Jazz sit now at 10th. They just got to beat out Brooklyn and basically Brooklyn to get to 11 and then not, jump in the lottery. If that happens, if the Jazz get to like 12th or 13th and then win the lottery, that would be so annoying. I mean, it would be good for SLC Dunk. It'd be good for the channel because I'll do sorts of draft coverage. But it would be so annoying for the Jazz to win the lottery in a draft they don't really want to win. Yes, there are some interesting players in this draft, but it's not necessarily a draft you're losing sleep over if you don't win it. So, if the draft was today, what would happen? Or the lottery, that is. Boom. Look at that. Golden State jumps the Utah Jazz. Utah goes to 12. The pick conveys to OKC. Danny Ainge and Will Hardy have done it, baby! Look at that. Oh my gosh, that would be crazy. Phenomenal. OKC gets a number 12 pick in a bad draft and has to put more salary on their books, baby. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. You guys are incredible. Thank you to everyone who supports this channel. I appreciate it immensely. Let's give a shout out to the All-Stars. Let's give a shout out to Dangerous Danger FC, Christian House Money to Haas, The Outlaw, Jesse James Nelson, Joshua Hansen, The Danish Destroyer, Ryan Perry, The Legend, Ezekiel Raicibe, The Man from Down Under, Yes Jake C. Can, See Ya, Lexa Later, Bill Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jorge Arizaga, Mi Amigo de Abajo, Jordan the GOAT, Vesral, TGD, Total Game Domination, Tyson Price, The Price is Right, Austin Argray, Editor Extraordinaire, KG to Olynyk Clinic, yeah baby, Patrick Kubo, The Connoisseur, and Robert Hall of Fame. Guys, subscribe. It's the road to 10K. If you don't, my father-in-law wants to be the number 10K subscriber. I will let him do it. But if not, you can be the one that breaks it. Subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you next time.